Today I have something really special on the bench, and you can already see it. It says 10 game classics on CD for the C64. What magic is this? This video is kindly sponsored by PCBWay. Thank you, PCBWay. Since there has never been a CD-ROM for the C64, so how does this work? And this is by Rainbow Arts, famously known for games like Turrican or The Great Giana Sisters. And this features 10 games: David's Midnight Magic, Leaderboard Golf, Mission Elevator, Impossible Mission, Drop Zone, Load Runner, Solomon's Key, Jinx, Mule, Fist 2, plus 10 pieces of music by Chris Hülsbeck. And it says works with any C64 and a normal CD player. Package includes adapter. Nothing special on the sides here. And here we have images of all the games. Is this all the games? Yeah, it is. And as you may notice, these are not even Rainbow Arts titles. This is just some software, except for Jinx. Okay, so Jinx is actually a Rainbow Arts title. You can see this is Broader-Bound, Access, Soft Gold, Epics, US Gold, Melbourne House. So this is really rare. And let's open it up and take a look inside. So we have a manual, and that is a pretty hefty manual because the lettering is pretty small. Let me see. Okay, so it's in German and it's in English, so it's both for both markets. I'm not sure if this ever came out in any other countries than Germany. We have this disc, and that is actually how it came. There's no other disc cover or enclosure. It's just this thing here, a disc with some very minor scratching. A piece of paper which says, "Dear customers, you can load this software with any standard CD player. We cannot guarantee that there are not some special DVD players." It says Exoten in Germany, which translates to more exotic devices that have the polarity switched. Any hobbyist tinkerer can solve this problem himself by just switching the polarity. And that is what makes all this possible, which is an adapter which connects to the tape port of the C64 and has a single cinch plug on the back, and it uses some resistors, one cap, and a MC14069 UB to convert the incoming analog signal and converts it to a tape signal. So how do you load this stuff? Let's take a look. CD edition manual. At first, switch off your computer as well as your CD player. Plug the included interface with a big plug into the cassette port of the C64 128. So it works with the 128. Good to know. Then connect the cinch socket at the far side of the computer with one of the line exits of your CD player. It doesn't matter whether you take the left or right channel by use of an appropriate cable. So this is mono. Your CD player normally is stereo. In case your CD player doesn't have a line exit, as it is the case with some portable players, you may also use a headphone exit using an appropriate adapter cable. When you do so, turn on full volume in order to avoid loading errors. Now switch on the computer. Keep Commodore key pressed on the 128 while switching on the machine, then the CD player. Note, the C64 128 must contain an original operating system in order to load properly. Therefore, switch off any floppy speeders or such like. pull out any modules as well. That is because stuff like I think Dolphin DOS or the later versions of the fast loaders needed the space on the ROM, and they just deleted the tape loading routines. So you need the standard, or at least one with a tape loading mechanism. When the C64 128 is ready for operation, type in load, then press return. Yeah, that is pretty much the cassette loading. Then start your CD player. After a few seconds, the computer says found CD edition. After another 10 seconds, the computer continues to load. Then press the spacebar and you will find yourself confronted with the selection menu. Select a game. Okay. So track 1 is pretty much a menu screen. So we'll see it in a minute. Select a game. Within the selection menu, you can choose a certain title with the arrow key, cursor keys. As soon as your decision is made, inform the computer about it by pressing return. Wholeheartedly, the computer in turn will then inform you about the title number where you should start the CD player. Do so, please, and press space immediately afterwards. After a short time, white stripes will start to run over the screen. This is a visual loading screen, loading control. In case you don't see it, you may have started the CD player at the wrong title number. So you have to manually select which track you want to play, because every game is in its own track, which makes perfectly sense. After about 30 seconds, the program is loaded into RAM. The screen then remains in its basic state for about 5 seconds before the program starts. It can't use tape loading, because tape loading takes much longer than 30 seconds for many of these games. And believe me, I tried back in the day to load Mission Elevator and stuff like that. It took minutes. So I'm very curious to see how that works. Some games are loaded in portions, but don't worry, you will receive the information on the screen in much the same way as in the selection menu. Okay, I think we grab a C64, we grab a CD player, and we just try it out. Okay, I have a Sony DVD CD player here, which is this box standard old machine. It has the appropriate outputs. Oh, I think I just switch it on. We just plug the red one here. So that should give us that. And switch this on. Press eject. That works. Now the C64 here. Okay, so this is now a box standard C64, nothing connected whatsoever. So let's use this little thing here and plug this into the cassette port like this. Connect the CD player or DVD player like this. Make sure it doesn't short anything. Okay, so that should now be connected. Nice. Let's give that disc a little rub. Let's put it in. Let's type load. And let's start it. So it's doing something here. But shouldn't that go away? Yeah, it should say found CD edition, but it doesn't. And we are already on track 2. Okay, so that doesn't work. Let's quickly take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, PCBWay. PCBWay offers PCB production and assembly, as well as 3D printing, CNC manufacturing, and much more. I use PCBWay myself to produce PCBs, to get assembled PCBs like the Pi 15413, and I also use the 3D printing service on my Amiga box project, and I was very pleased with the results. So if you have anything you need in terms of PCBs or 3D printing, just give PCBWay a chance. Again, thank you PCBWay for sponsoring this video. Another C64. Let's try that one. Red light is good. Do we get an image? We do. Let's start this again. Load, searching. Okay. Didn't do that before. Before it just waited It looked like it was waiting for the play key to be pressed. Ah, found CD edition. Awesome. So my other C64 probably had a problem with loading from tape. So maybe this wasn't the original ROM after all, or I didn't plug in the CD thing correctly. White lines, yeah, that should be a menu in a minute. Ah, there we go. Aha, haha, nice. Okay. So that worked. Still running. Ah, okay, there we are. Now we can use the cursor keys to just select the game. So let's try Mission Impossible. Please start your CD player at track 5 and press space. Okay, so we have to go to track 5, press space. Done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, nothing with 30-second loading. No, okay. And now, oh, Mission Impossible. Okay, that actually works. Nice. Cool, I guess. Interesting. So, what exactly is coming out of this? I mean, it has to be some kind of tape data, but I assume that maybe you saw that video on Norell's Retro Lab, where he tried the fastest possible cassette loading speeds and he compressed data and stuff like that. I think something like this is happening here. So we have massively compressed data on this CD, and because it's a CD player and it's pretty much lossless, not like a tape, you can have a higher density of data, and by that you can do faster loading. And I think instead of the normal beep, you hear something like, but we only know if you know. So let's connect some speakers and let's do a listen. Let's see what's on there, and let's check out what electronic is needed to actually convert this faster loading data into something that can be processed over the tape port. So I do have two speakers here, some retro speakers, which I modded. They normally have only the 3.5 audio jack, and I modded them with this cable here so that I can plug this into the CD player. So let's do that. Whoa. Shock. So yeah, it's like I thought. It's much faster. Let's go to track 1. Yeah, it's not static, that's actually what's on the CD. And you can hear that this is much faster than the standard C64 loading sound. Okay, let's see Mission Impossible. Yeah, that's loading really fast. That's not even an intro, because we have the menu system and the menu loads this. Yeah, that's really fast. That's even faster than loading from floppy. It sounds like static, but it's actually data. And it's only possible because the CD audio is lossless, even it's analog. Ah, that was the whole game. Crazy. Okay, there should be music by Chris Hillsbert. Let's see if we can find that. Little data. Ah. goes this way. So that's how they achieve these high loading speeds, by just compressing the data or compressing the audio so much that you can't even, with a human ear, hear the difference in the tones, because it just sounds like static. Okay, let's go online and let's check what makes this little module tick this year, or this adapter. So let me free the Okay, so let's see what we have here. We have an MC14069UB. Let's Google that. The MC14069, which is this hex inverter, is constructed with MOS P-panel and N-channel enhancement mode devices in a single monolithic structure. These inverters find primary use where low power dissipation and high noise immunity is desired. Each of the 6 inverters is a single stage to minimize propagation delays. So according to ChatGPT, a hex inverter is nothing more than an inverter, which is pretty much a NOT, which takes a signal and inverts it. So if you send in a 1, it becomes a 0, and vice versa, and the hex stands for 6. So this has 6 inputs that can be converted to 6 outputs. And it says on applications of hex inverters, signal conditioning, active low to active high signals, oscillator circuits, Schmitt triggers. So these are used, as I understand it, to clear a signal. And in this case, it seems that we get a 1 in and we want a 0 out. So can that really be all, that we get pretty much a digital or an analog signal and we convert this into a digital? I think we need to know more about how the Commodore dataset actually works, because the output of the dataset is the same as the output of this year, otherwise it wouldn't work. So what does a Commodore dataset give? So it actually stores digital binary data, which is pretty much what we need here. Analog data comes in here, which is interpreted by this as high or low, and then is inverted into 1 or 0, depending on what's coming on here. So that's all that does. So here's some foam on the back. Let's try to peel this off. There doesn't seem to be anything under this. There's no components. It's just that. And these top row here is not even soldered. Okay, these should be available, or the plans to build one should be available online. So let's check if we can find one. So I finally did find a website, which is Forum64, which has this adapter here, and they have images of this. Let's zoom in a bit. So that's the back side. You can see there's no component on there, it's just some traces. And this is the front side, and you have a few resistors, 1 cap, and the 4069 here. And if you want to know which values you need, you can see that right here. So the IC is a 4069, the cap right here is a 10 nanofarad, and we have R1 to R5, which is numbered here. So you can build one of these yourself. It's not too hard, and a tape connector and a cinch, of course. Yeah, so I think this concludes this video. So this thing, this first edition, first CD edition for the C64, 10 classic games on CD, is maybe the strangest thing that came out for the C64, I think, because it's rare, and the idea of having a CD with games that could also load from tape is strange at best, even though it loads much faster, and maybe even faster than from a floppy drive. Yeah, so that's it. Until next time. See you. Bye bye. Thanks again to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. If you need any PCBs, pre-assembled PCBs or 3D printing, please use the link in the description below.
Thank you for watching Retro is the New Black. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. If you like the video, please share. Every like, share, and comment helps a lot. Until next time, bye-bye.